What's going on, folks? Thank you so much for joining me here at TLP Sports Club. The show you are watching it is called TLP Live. I am your host, Harry B, and the B means billion. There's a lot to talk about. I want to talk about some things about the Cleveland Browns and the Colorado Buffaloes. I didn't have a chance this week and weekend to go in on these topics, but since I have some time right now, I want to go ahead and talk about these topics. I want to talk about some of the issues that I see with the Cleveland Browns because I'm actually tracking the Louis boys from Colorado. And if you know, we talk about the Big 12 teams and we talk about Colorado here. All right. So since the Louis boys are over there in Colorado, Louis boys are in the NFL. Right now, we're talking about Shador and others, but the bigger story is obviously Shador. So I want to talk about those Cleveland's, I'm saying, some things that I see with the Cleveland Browns that I see that are problematic, some things that I will disagree with a lot of y'all or the public opinion. I do disagree with. Like I said, I always tell you guys, I'm batting, 98%. I say certain things. When I first say it, it may sound a little weird to your ears, but when I say it, when it does finally transpire, it kind of happens the way I. The intro does not want to roll. I don't know. Okay, here it goes.
BWB.
Bandwagon Buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Surf, what up with you? Surf is the first one in the chat. Hope all is well, Surf. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a great football weekend, and you're ready to talk some football. So let's go ahead and get right to work. I'm going to go Cleveland first, and then we'll talk about Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes and some of the issues and some of the good things and bad things that I've seen, though, that I see so far with Colorado. So let me go ahead and get to it. If my energy doesn't seem so, high pitched like I usually am, my whole animated self, it's because I'm exhausted, okay? I am absolutely exhausted. Every muscle in my 40, high-end 40-plus years on this earth was used up this weekend, especially yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Had a block party, my first one that we attended. And it was fairly, because you know what I'm saying, like, I'm on the block. American culture is a little different from the culture that I'm from in Liberia. So it's like you can live somewhere for like mad years. You can pass people, just be little cordial, just say hi, keep it moving. You don't necessarily get to have conversations, even though they live right there. So yesterday was a great opportunity for me to actually talk to my neighbors, eat some food from them and whatnot. And now I feel like, Monday morning when we go to work and we see each other, I see them walking the dog and stuff like that, I'll be like, hey, now they're going to be like, yo, Harry B, what up? So I was like, I ain't going to do no football stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do that, because those are the little things that make life really, worth living, because the people that are surrounding you, you want to get to know them, and they get to know a little bit more about who you are, your character. And I think I showed a little bit more of my character to them, and some of them appreciate who I am. I ain't going to go into the details, but just think about the fact that Harry B is a stand-up man, if you understand what I'm trying to go with that. You feel me? All right, I'm a servant. That's a clue. Let's get into this Cleveland conversation. Let's go. Joe Mama. Unspoken Sports Podcast. Yo, what's good with you, man? All right, y'all can call in. All right. But y'all know how I do here. I can either go solo. If y'all let me go solo, I'll go solo. That going in, my gift is talking. I can do this all day. Or you can call in and we can all have a conversation. The email is right there. A lot of y'all already have it. I sent a couple of y'all that's been on the show before. I sent y'all the link already. Pull up on me. Let's talk. I'm tired. Let me drink some of this water. Let's go. All right. So this is what I see. Join TLP Live. I'm sorry, I didn't do that part. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is the email. Let me get some energy because this show is about energy. And if I don't have the energy, I'm going to put you to sleep. You're going to flip the channel. You're going to turn it off. And if you turned off, then what's the point of me doing this? Okay? Get my energy, Harry. Let's go. African energy, African power. Come on, African power. Let's go. Liberian power. Let's go. Okay. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to call. You're going to email me. I'm going to go ahead and click on the link. When I send you the link, you click on the link. You come onto the show. We talk Cleveland and Colorado. And if there's anything else, I already posted a Travis Hunter, really nice catch, Travis Hunter short. I hope y'all like it. Let me see. Let me see how many views the Travis Hunter short got so far. Did I post it? Oh, I didn't post it. Oh, man, that is so sad. I thought I posted it, though. Maybe I didn't make it. Maybe I made it private. Anyways, I'll check on that later. I thought I posted it. I'm going to check on it right now. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me check on the Travis Hunter video. Oh, I think I made it private. Hold up. Oh, that's what it is. The thing was set to private, and I never clicked on public. It was never public. Okay, forgive me. All right, it happens. I'm like, wait, where's the Travis Hunter video? All right, so my Cash App is right there, guys. $sign TLP Sports Club for those of y'all who always bless me and help this show to be free. My Cash App is right there, $sign TLP Sports Club. I do appreciate you join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is the email if you're new and you haven't gotten a link from me before. Some of y'all already been on the show. You already have the email. Just email me from that same email. I don't send you nothing unless it's some type of bot trying to pretend as me. I don't send you nothing. I don't use your email for no nefarious reasons or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use big words, so please, to just respect the fact that I got some big words in my vocabulary. It's in there somewhere, okay? Every now and then I have to pull them out and let you know that I'm educated. Thank God. Let's go. All right, so Quinlito's Way, what's up? What's up? All right, so here we go. Cleveland Browns are going to make a huge mistake. They're going to make a huge mistake, and they're going to eventually bench Joe Flacco. But I'm going to start off by telling you Joe Flacco is not Cleveland Browns' problem. He is somewhat the problem, but he is not their problem for losing the way that they lose. The defense is great, all right? The offense is decent. The offensive line can protect, give enough time, at least 2.5 seconds. I think maybe right now they're 2.3, but they give them every now and then. They give them 2.5 seconds to throw the ball, and sometimes 3. You know what I'm saying? Maybe every now and then you get 3 seconds to pass the ball. I noticed that I'm watching every Cleveland Browns game this season. All right. So Joe Flacco, we already know the obvious. Joe Flacco is old, so he cannot move as he was not really a mobile quarterback before, but when you're younger, you can move a little bit. Okay. So mobile quarterbacks are guys that can just move like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, and all those quarterbacks that can actually move around the pocket. Cleveland Browns quarterback Joe Flacco is not that guy. He has heavy legs. He's old. We get it. But the one thing that I know is that he knows the playbook, all right, and he can still play the game. His arm is very strong, and I believe he has the best arm in that quarterback's room. So why is it that they can't put it all together? Because the receivers suck. Absolutely suck. The Cleveland Browns receivers are the worst receivers in the daggone NFL. I mean, come on. What's his name? Judy? Like, bruh. Like, what is the problem? The ball is right there. Who catches the ball like this? It's going straight. Like, come on, bruh. Like, Joe Flacco is going to take the fall just like Russell Wilson took the fall for my New York Giants. They were, aching for new energy because a quarterback doesn't get 400 yards of play and you say he's the problem. But somewhere, somehow, maybe new energy kind of helps you to win games. So we went with Jackson Dart and we won today. Does that really solidify the fact does that really tell the full story? And does it let you know that, oh my gosh, what we needed was Jackson Dart? Maybe, maybe not. We will never know. But that's how sports go. We yearn for a change, some new energy. Maybe the new energy does help us to move forward. So now I would say Jackson Dart is now solidified because on day number 1, on his first start, he won the game. Will he continue to be that good, or was he the reason why they really won? The defense made some plays and gave them life. Could the defense have done that if Russell Wilson was in there? Maybe. But they went over to Jackson Dart and they got the W. So now he's going to be their quarterback going forward. That's it. Sometimes it works out that way. But the Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, are going to make a grave mistake. Now, let me just say, maybe they're going to Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel came into the game with about 3 minutes to go. They were just trying to play it safe. They're trying to work in their rookie, which I think they should start working in their rookie a little bit more instead of like, oh, okay, let me give you 2-3 minutes. Bring him in. Bring him in the second half. If you really think that Dillon Gabriel is your quarterback, bring him in the second half when things aren't going the way that you want them to go. Maybe that same Jackson Dart energy that was infused into the Giants organization, maybe Dillon Gabriel becomes that, and he can prepare the Cleveland Browns to victory. But what I saw from Dillon Gabriel is not the answer for the Cleveland Browns. That's not to say that Shedeur the third and the next man up is the answer. I personally believe that Joe Flacco should end their season, should be in there. And I think that they need to activate some receivers from their practice squad. The reason you want to go with the practice squad receivers is to send a strong message to your starting receiving core to say, you can't be replaced. You are not indispensable. You are dispensable. Right now, you stink. And let me go get some guys that are hungry. Some guys that are, when I get them off this practice squad and give them a bigger check, they're going to make catching the ball a priority. When the ball goes in their direction, they're going to try their best to catch it because they know if they drop that ball, if it's a good ball, they're probably not going to ever see the field again. So you need new energy. That's that whole new energy situation with Jackson Dart. It's the same thing that they need to infuse into their offensive receiving core. So replace them. Replace their going wide receivers. You are not allowed to drop the ball when we are in critical situations. We need you to step up. We're paying you good money to step up in critical situations. Is Joe Flacco good enough for us to win games? Yes, he is. Is he the best answer for us? I would say yes, he is. But does he make mistakes? Absolutely, he does. But he is the best answer for the Cleveland Browns. But they're going to make a mistake because they're getting weary. They're growing. The fan base is growing weary. If you listen to the talking heads, they're ready for change. The content creators in the Cleveland Browns ecosystem are growing weary, and they're waiting and they're looking for excuses. And they're all going to tell you, yes, that Joe Flacco is the reason why they're losing. Joe Flacco, Judy, okay, that's his name, Quinn Lido, thank you. Joe Flacco is not the reason. He is a small part of the reason, but not the major part of the reason. Joe Flacco is like A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers. They're old, but they can still play the game with protection. All they do is they're pocket passers. They're gonna get you. They're gonna take a few hits, but they can still sling the rock, and they know where to put it, which is a good thing. You need that. You need a veteran quarterback who can still play the game and knows where to put the ball. When the veteran put the ball where it needs to go, we need the receivers to be able to catch that ball. And when they don't catch the ball, it makes Joe Flacco, the old guy, look bad, and the fan base is going to grow weary. But such is life. So eventually, the echoing of the content creators in the Cleveland Browns ecosystem are going to get loud enough to say, all right, Joe Flacco, man, it's time for us to go to Dillon Gabriel. But Dillon Gabriel is going to show you, you can see it a mile away, that Dillon Gabriel is not going to be able to uphold. I can see it. Can he put a few good games together? Yes, but you starting Dillon Gabriel consistently, you're going to start seeing the mistakes that he can make. He's not the guy. So that means eventually we're going to see Shedeur. Maybe Palmer's right that eventually if you put Dillon Gabriel in next week and he'll start accumulating those mistakes, you'll see Shedeur sooner or later. Or they're going to, because they don't like Shedeur, they're not going to activate Shedeur. They're going to stick with Dillon Gabriel and let him keep making mistakes. Then they're going to really show their hands. But as an organization, right now, with the fan base and like the content creators like G. Bush, the G. Bushes, and everybody else that I pay attention to in this Cleveland Browns organization or ecosystem, they're going to be calling for Joe Flacco to be done. And everybody tends to think that's the issue. That's not your issue. I promise you that's not your issue. I don't watch the game like y'all watch it. I'm watching it for certain nuances that I'm looking at. I'm not, okay, look, Joe Flacco's not the issue. Aaron Rodgers, he's old too, but he got receivers. They know where to put the ball. When they put the ball there, his receivers catch the ball. So his receiving core and his team, they're making him look good. The Cleveland Browns are not playing complimentary football because the receivers suck. I mean, Miles is doing his job. The defense is doing a great job, but they get tired and they get weary too. They're like, come on, man. Like, bro, we get the ball back to these dudes. They're not going to do nothing with it. That's where that complimentary word is in sports. It's about synergy and energy. So when you say complimentary football, it's about synergy and it's about energy. Eventually, if you keep giving the ball back to your offense and they do nothing with it, three and outs, or they go and they get the ball back and they don't get no score, your energy starts to wane down and eventually you just get tired and you get sick of it. You're like, man, I don't care no more. Y'all do whatever you're going to do. I'm going to get my check anyway. That's what complimentary football is pretty much. So the Cleveland Browns, you can say they have a quarterback problem. But if you, just like my Giants, my New York Giants, if you think that the quarterback was the issue, then Jackson Dart proved you right. But I know the quarterback was not the issue for the New York Giants. I look silly thinking that and saying that out loud, because you would say we were 0-3 and explain why we were losing all the games. That's if you just sit down and watch football, just straightforward, and you're like, oh yeah, we're losing. It must be the quarterback. The quarterback and the leaderships are going to take the blame all the time. So I get it. I understand it. So you're right. It was a quarterback problem, and you're probably right if you're calling for Flacco to change, because there's another nuance where I believe that energy change, infused good energy, may turn around a team. Could infuse the energy in the receivers to catch the ball. It's just a part of it's an energy thing that you have to consider. It's an energy nuance that you have to consider when you talk sports. So I do adhere to that, and I do believe that happens. But it is possible that you bring in that quarterback and he stinks up the place also, and nothing changes, which then will kind of like solidify or tell you that, okay, yeah, the receivers, they suck. But maybe you bench Flacco because, I mean, it's looking bad. You're throwing interceptions, whether it's your fault, whether it's the communication that's supposed to go between you and your receivers, them not knowing where they're supposed to be at. Because you're the veteran and you know where you're supposed to put the ball and where the receivers are supposed to go. But are the receivers playing video games at night? Are they doing other things, laying down with girls and going to hotel rooms and doing weird things and not really getting into that playbook and really understanding the playbook like you do as the quarterback if you're Joe Flacco? And those receivers don't know where to be at, so there's miscommunications. That is all possible. So are the interceptions his fault? Yes. But could there be miscommunication? Yes. I'm reading into all of it. When I'm watching, I'm like, hey, man, hold up. Something ain't right, man. I know Joe Flacco made mistakes, but that busted play, that was Joe Flacco's fault? Like, he all of a sudden didn't remember that, okay, yes, don't throw the ball when the play breaks up. I get it. But those daggone receivers are the worst. I mean, come on, my guy. Those receivers are the absolute worst. Stop playing with me. Come on. So the Cleveland Browns, eventually they're going to bench Joe Flacco. We all talked about this. Everybody talked about it. Week 5, week 6. Eventually, they're going to bench Joe Flacco. It's coming. And they're going to put Dillon Gabriel in and they're going to expose him. Because I have come and I've settled with the fact that I don't have to see Shedeur this year. That's still my guy. But I don't have to see Shedeur. As long as he's there earning his check, you feel me? Getting reps on the practice squad, with or without the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL eventually. So I'm settled with that. You know how you just settle with something, you just like, all right, look, I ain't sweating it no more. I'm good. That's how I am. So in that settlement in my head, I no longer hate Dillon Gabriel. That was hard to say. That was really hard to say. No, he won't, Harry. He won what? You talking about Dillon Gabriel? Dillon Gabriel's going to do good? Dillon Gabriel, I don't hate him. I think when he comes in, he could do some good. But Dillon Gabriel is not consistent, bro. I saw it, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, dang. I said the mistakes that Joe Flacco's making, Dillon Gabriel is going to he's going to exponentially multiply those mistakes. You will see it. But to save face, I don't know that Kevin Stefanski and the organization just throw Dillon Gabriel in there for a few games with all the mistakes and then just take him out. I'm trying to tell you, if they take Dillon Gabriel out, I don't know that they're going to go to Shedeur. This is where it's going to become a problem. Shedeur is the quarterback number 3. I don't think that when Dillon Gabriel is making mistakes, I don't know that they're going to Shedeur. Because how can I say this? I feel like the organization don't want anything to do with us, the fans. the Shador fans. I ain't talking about the Cleveland Browns fans. I don't think they want anything to do with us this season. They don't like us, and we don't like them. We have made it known that we don't like them at all, and they have made it known that they don't like us at all. And we say screw them. Kick rocks. Everything. We don't like you. We don't want to be here. We don't like you, and we don't want to be here. And you have let us know that you don't like us and you don't want us to be here. So we don't care about you, Cleveland Browns organization. You're the worst organization, and I can't say that with more vigor anytime I say it. You're the worst, and we don't like you at all. We don't want to be no part of you. We're just here for Shador. So kick rocks. You let us know that, and we're letting you know that. We don't like you. Haslam, Stefanski, kick rocks, eat shorts. And when you eat shorts, make sure you eat the part that has all the stain marks. We hate you. Shador came here and you didn't give him a fair shot to play at all. So kick rocks, all of y'all. Cleveland Browns. Not the fans. We're trying to get to like y'all. I don't care about y'all either, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Cleveland Browns are gonna bench Joe Flacco real soon. This is what everybody predicted. Week 6. We are here now. Everybody was saying it's going to stink up the place. Joe Flacco's going to stink up the place. And by week 6, 7, we're going to start seeing the rookies. We were hoping it was Shador, but he didn't get a fair shot. That's why we say kick rocks, Cleveland Browns organization. But here we are now. It's going to happen. You know it's coming. You know, if it doesn't happen, I will be fine with it. Because I still know that Joe Flacco is the best chance the Cleveland Browns have for this season. I'm trying to tell you. Joe Flacco is a good quarterback. He can still play the game, and they do not need to move away from him. They just need to get rid of the wide receivers that they have, and they need to not abandon the run. It's like the Cleveland Browns and the Colorado Buffaloes are like step what is the word? Step families or whatever. They're in lockstep. Anytime they get in trouble, they abandon the run. You got one of the top running backs in the best running rookie in the NFL. So why would you abandon the run? I don't understand it. Keep using the run. Use the run more. Because it's the run that helps you to be able to pass the ball. I mean, come on now. Football 101. Hello. The run helps you to pass the ball. But you abandon the run the second that you get spooked a little bit. Oh, let's go pass the ball. You pass, 3 and outs. The receivers are not catching the ball. Is the offensive line the best line? No, it's not, but it's not the worst. It's not even like bottom of the barrel offensive line. I'm trying to tell you, have you seen Cam Ward? Have you seen Cam? I said, I text my guys and I said, when is it okay for us to come for Cam Ward? I said, when we gonna is it like when is Cam? If that was Shador, if Cam Ward was Shador, right? Like they would have been saying bust. I mean, the media would have been crucifying Shador. But you're not hearing much through the media. They're protecting Cam Ward. You're not hearing much through the media about Cam Ward. Has he even won his first game yet? I don't even know. I can't keep track. Did they won? Did they win today, or they playing today? I don't even know, man. But he's sticking up the place. But we're not talking about that. If that was Shador, my goodness. Woo-wee. Bust. But they would have made a song. Bust. He's a bust. He's a bust. Bust. Oh, he's a bust. Him and his dad are bust. Oh, he's a bust. We would have been hearing that everywhere. But we ain't saying nothing about Cam Ward being he's number one. I mean, doing the whole draft situation. If you would have said anything, we like, oh no, Cam Ward should do it. You know what I'm saying? That's 1 and 2. But whatever happened during the draft process, we were talking about it was like, no, the talent is similar. No, Cam Ward went number 1. Shedeur is, 5th round. There's no way the talent is any. Oh my God, what? Cam is number 1 overall. Like, bruh, like you're not paying attention to this game we're talking about. You're not paying attention. You just, statistics. Oh, stat. You don't pay attention, and then when it comes to, then you just do what the big media people do. They take what really is, and that's the only talking point. Forget about the in-betweens, the nuances. Forget about anything you saw with your own eyes. Forget about all of that. It's just stats. He was 5th round, 144th, and nobody wanted to touch him. So the talent can't be there. Oh, word? That's what you saw his entire career, from high school all the way to college, and from college to Colorado? I don't mean to ignore you in the chat. Until somebody pulls up, I just got to keep going. DC said Jesus does not approve of short eating. Short eating? I don't know what you mean, my guy. There we go. The Travis Hunter footage is starting to gain some steam. We got one comment on it. Who commented? MYAM227 says fire. Thank you. DC, what do you mean by short eating? What are you talking about? Surf, what you say? Shantae, let me do Shantae first. She said, don't salute me. You don't know me like that. The troll Shantae. Harry, if you decide to write a buff song, that will work too, versus the he's a bust song. Example, he's buff versus he's a bust. He's a bust. Hey, he's a buff. He's a buff. He's a buff. Go ahead, DC. Lace that up. I'm even giving you chords, strings. That's not chords. It's a strings. He's a buff. Go ahead, DC. I give you permission. You can have it. If it makes any money, I want some. Just a little bit. Busting, bro. Stop, DC. I'm not ready to laugh here. Oh, my guys have been going crazy about Bama being Georgia. Salute to y'all, DC and Phil. Yeah, man. So that's it for Cleveland. So are we going to see Shedeur this year? It's possible. I think it's possible we see Shedeur maybe week 8 or 9. Possible. Dylan Gabriel is not that dude, man. I'm trying to tell you. Surf, you'll get give Surf his credit for saying do it. Yeah, man. So we might see Shedeur, we may not. I'm settled on not seeing Shedeur this year. But I feel like I'll end the Cleveland segment with this. I feel like the Cleveland Browns are the losers of all losers of an organization of all times. They can kick rock, eat dirt, eat everything that's dirty, all right, and choke on it. That's not Christian-like. Oh, well. Sorry, Lord. But they missed a monumental opportunity for business. And I'm just talking about the business aspect. I know y'all want to, don't come for me. Just business, not football. Like I'm football business that missed a great opportunity. When you got a fan base, millions of people ready to just go bonkers over somebody who is actually a decent quarterback, and you don't give him an opportunity, and you say, to heck with y'all, we don't want y'all, we don't care about y'all. You got to be the dumbest business people ever, bro. Like you got to be the stupidest business people ever. The dumbest. When I said the dumbest, y'all got to be the stupidest, dumbest organization ever. I don't even have the numbers, and I don't know if I'm going to pull those numbers up because I don't care. I'm probably the only one watching the Cleveland Browns just because of content reasons. And because I want to be able to know what I'm talking about when I say Joe Flacco's not the problem. Let me get DC's help here. At least somebody agrees with me, business-wise. Let me see if DC can agree with me on business-wise, because you know he hard-headed, man. He always want to talk about Shadour's skills. All right, DC, let me see what you got. Welcome to the show.
Dang, should I just leave and you go get Peter and get the
No, I'm just saying because you can never agree with me when it's Shador, you're triggered. So I got to tread very carefully.
No.
But the question is, do you think they made a grave mistake, business wise? Just keep on that. Stay right there. All right. Don't be like my Israelite friends who I was debating this weekend, and they never stay on one topic. Business wise, do you think they made a mistake, or did they make a good decision?
To draft Shador or to keep him third string
Oh,
emergency
right.
QB?
To tell his fan base, kick rocks. We don't care about y'all, and to keep him off the Cleveland Browns, keep him away from the Cleveland Browns, anywhere. That's what I mean.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you keep it real, they pretty much done just kind of gangster you. It's like, yeah, they kind of deboed you, giving this 250 million for these jerseys. Now shut up. I mean, they pretty much just took your chain off your neck. Do I think it's wise? Not necessarily. I will say this though: had Kenny Pickett be healthy, Joe Flacco would not be the starter. I can say that 100%.
Yeah, because their talent is comparable,
Yep, they
and
would have
he's
put him
younger.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's younger.
Yeah, that was their goal, was to get Pickett until Pickett got hurt, and then what you were left with Flacco. You saw Dylan, the stuff that you saw. Not saying that Shador is incompetent, but if he doesn't have expanded playbook as well as get used to the game speed, then you probably will hurt him. Think about this: if that you could put him out there, and I would say as a business, if you're strictly trying to make money, yeah, that would be a good thing. But if Shador continued to play like he did against the Rams, you would kill Shador's career. Nobody would ever want him. So is it maybe a little bit of them trying to look out for him since they did choose to draft him?
But I think when you have this thing of a bad day, you forget the good stuff, because the only thing you can remember, right, is the bad game, but you forget the good game. And the reason, there was a reason for that good game. The reason for that good game is because they have better players, and they didn't put him in a situation to lose. You see what I'm saying? So that first game we all forget, and now we're all remembering the bad game. But can you take the both and average them out?
Well, think about it. The Panthers, the Rams are a lot better team than the Panthers. Panthers had the worst defense in the NFL last year. So you have to take that into consideration. Not saying that I do think you have to balance them out, but you have to keep in mind again, these are you're not playing the best of the best in the league when you play the Carolina Panthers. I mean, think of, just so you have to just consider that.
Right, well, I get it, but if you're saying that, okay, the team that he played, right? Was he against the first team for the Rams?
I think he was against the second team. It was 2-on-2s.
Okay, so he was against the second team, and he didn't have the first team that Joe Flacco has.
No,
So
he didn't.
right. So I believe if you put him with the team that Joe Flacco has right now, he's better than Dylan Gabriel. He'll do better than Dylan Gabriel because I believe that Shador's comps are higher than Dylan Gabriel's. But we saw a sample size for Dylan Gabriel, and they treated him like royalty. They didn't treat Shador like royalty. So the argument is going to continue to go on. But I don't want to relitigate everything that we talked about with that. But I just think they missed a big opportunity to bring us into the fold as a business decision. But they told us to kick rocks, and now we're telling them to kick rocks because their team sucks and it shows.
Well, y'all go ahead and kick rocks. I mean, everybody just sits back and just walks around and kicks rocks. I mean, truth be told,
now they're kicking rocks. Look at their record. They're kicking rocks.
But they had planned on. I mean, again, just you look at them. The Browns don't have an issue with where they are because they were okay, because they still have a QB issue in their room that they have to deal with, and that is Watson. You could not afford, you put it like this, you cannot bring they could not get a franchise QB because they don't have the money, and you have Watson sitting right there. So that's the thing, is I think that Shador it's not so much that not liking Shador, it's the whole political and financial politics that are going on behind the scenes at the Browns. And as you're a fan of Shador, you're like, well, hey, I want him to be expedited to play. But then to a point where if you already had Flacco, you already had Pickett, you already had Dillon, and you still have Watson on that roster. Because to me, it didn't even make any sense for them to get rid of Winston. Why not just keep him? He's still, when I saw him play in preseason, he's with the Giants now, he still was functional. But I think they were clearing out people. And to me, because everybody has that short contract in there, the goal is to start clearing out people. I firmly believe is that Watson, once he's healthy, is going to be on that field. Now, what do you do with Shador? Because you can't have 4 active QBs.
Could Shador do any worse than Cam Ward?
But see, the thing is, we compare two different teams. The Titans is garbage. The Titans are horrible. That's why they had the first pick. They were horrible. The reason why the Browns had the pick that they had, because they were the second horrible team. Shador can come out there, put it like this. Can Shador come out there and this team be winning? Oh, no. I don't believe that at all. Do I think that he could probably do as good as Flacco? Maybe, but the downside is if Shador is on schedule and you give him time, he can slice and dice you. If you get him off schedule, which you can with the type of speed that you play against in the NFL, then it just, I mean, think about it. When Shador is great, we all know it. Let's just say it. Even though I can be called a hater, he is phenomenal. He's dropping dimes. He looks phenomenal, but his bad is bad. I mean, it's really bad when it's and so that's what I think they're trying to avoid is that, yeah, I know his good, he's lighting it up, but when he's bad, I mean, it's just not good. And then his whole body language changes. Like when we saw against Nebraska, saw a little bit of that at Kansas. We saw some of that during the Rams game. So if he works on those things, he's gonna be fine. But I just think he needs a little time. But I don't think the Browns would be a better team with him starting.
I think it's not anything we can talk about and prove, and we'll just go in circles because we're both going to believe what we believe until something is proven. But the thing about Shedeur is when it's proven, the goalpost moves. So it's very tough to have a Shedeur conversation because we talk about it and it's proven, and then the goalpost moves because we're just not going to agree that Shedeur can be good. So I think Shedeur cannot do any worse than 26-0 Cam Ward. You know what I'm saying? Like the Texans are killing you 26-0. I think Shedeur was the better quarterback, but like Yarman says, he don't think that Shedeur is any good. I feel like, and this is going to be a bold statement, Shedeur could have been an even better quarterback than Jackson Dart in New York.
Yeah, what did you drink this afternoon? You had too much communion wine, didn't you?
Yeah,
You had the
see, that's
whole
what I'm
bottle,
saying.
didn't you? See?
How can you see how can you see Jackson Dart performing and say Shedeur could have been better? There's no way to prove this because you see Jackson Dart performing, and you don't see Shedeur. He's 5th round, haven't seen the field. He's wearing shades on the sideline, making wild, bold statements, and we all forget who he is and what he's capable of doing. So that's what it is. And so it's hard. And I understand it's barbershop talk. You can't prove it, so don't say it. So I get it. But I know what I know. Y'all, man, I know what I know, DC. And it's hard for me to solidify, quantify, or even qualify what I'm saying when you got a third stringer sitting on the sideline, playing with practice squad dudes. So I give up on that. I'm going to leave it alone. I just made this statement. You got to deal with it. I'm going to let y'all deal with it, and let's pivot to Mr. I love my timeouts.
And solidified? Yeah. Let's move over to solidified since you moved that. That's a great transition. Great transition.
Let's move on to Mr. I love my timeouts. And I'm going to hold on to him, and I don't care what y'all think.
Oh yeah,
Colorado.
He collected them like Pokemon cards. He got a whole bunch of them.
I have no idea. I have no idea what it is, what it's going to take, and what is going to be like for. Give me 1 second. Let me take this thing off the screen. Because every time I try to, okay. All right, so let's put this up so we can have a conversation about this.
Because he's saying my name is Prime Time. My name is not Timeout.
Timeout.
It's Prime Time. What are we talking about? Timeouts?
We're talking about timeouts. You talking about timeouts?
That's right. Ain't no timeout for Prime Time.
All right. Is Coach Prime a good coach? First question.
Boy, you just gonna have me to answer that.
Yep.
So I need to get off.
Chat.
I need to
chat.
I need to back out. Okay, go ahead. Because I'm gonna need to back out and be Cat GPT and let him come back with a nice edge up because he will tell
chat.
You. But go ahead.
Chat, is Coach Prime a good coach? I'm going in. I don't care. Unsubscribe to whatever you gotta do. Is Coach Prime a good coach? I'm asking y'all. I want y'all to answer that question in honest. Is Coach Prime a good coach?
Yard man, you need to lay off the red stripes, brother. Lay off the red stripes, man.
And there's a reason why I'm asking that question. Because time and time again, we've come to see Coach Prime in tight situations. And when I think good coaches, to qualify this question that I'm asking, I think good coaches are able to coach their way out of tight situations. And I think that's how they earn their stripes as what we're determining as good coach. All right. I mean, it's not anything spectacular. It's just like, hey, what makes a good coach? right? Overall, like what makes a good coach, right? What? Okay, DC. Let me ask you, what do you think the the qualifications of a good coach are? So what are the things that you would say? Okay, if you cross off these things, then this is a good coach.
I would think that great understanding of the game, focus, can manage the staff, can manage the game, great talent evaluator, knows how to manage the program and establish the brand of of that program, and that he has great relationships with the community, the media, and the boosters. Because if the boosters don't like you, as soon as you start jacking up, they're gonna get rid of you, and I've seen a lot of that in Bama. So that's generally what Bama looks for in there. You know, they understand the tradition. They understand that that is what a good coach is. A
Okay.
great coach,
No, no, I don't want to go to great coach. I'm just talking about good coach.
good coach.
Yeah. I want to make sure we just talk about good coach because
Dang, y'all man going in qualifications, everything, not prime. Dang it.
Shante says, I think Prime looks at football from a completely different lens than the casual viewer, for also from a casual coach. His lens is foggy. Something's going on with the lens that he's
Let's see.
looking at.
Right. Well, Shante, just check this out. Your coach says his one of his catchphrases is "I got time today," and you know why he has time today?
Because he doesn't use them.
Because he doesn't know how.
He got too much time in the. He takes. Y'all remember the last live when I was making fun of Coach Prime with his with his timeouts. Hey, timeouts! I love you. That's why I brought you home with me. This time I'm putting them I'm putting them in the trophy case. Coach Prime loves some timeouts though, like for real. But anyways, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about Colorado as a team because I told y'all I pull
Okay.
up. Let me take this up. This. I'm just joking with Coach Prime on this one, but I put this up because I feel like it's just funny. Like, come on now, come on, Prime. Like we gotta learn at a certain point. Like we gotta know that you're evolving, right? I think that's the most important thing. You got to know that your coach is evolving. And if you keep making excuses for your non evolving coach, then you're part of the problem. Then you don't really understand how this thing works because you can give as much grace to somebody who deserves it. And not necessarily people don't usually deserve grace, but they need it. You want to give it to them just because you're humanity. But you want to also know that the person is evolving, right? It's like you keep like this is an extreme example, but it's like your crackhead family member, right? You keep giving them grace and they keep coming over and things keep getting missing. And you keep doing it over and over again. There comes to a certain time where you just got to say, all right, you know what? That's enough. And can y'all say that we have reached that time with Prime? Can we say that we have reached the time with Prime where we got to say, okay, enough, bro? Like we got to know that you're evolving as a coach. We got to know that your evolution is taking place. We don't mind giving you grace. We know that you don't know everything about coaching and all the the intricacies of coaching. You're still learning, but you don't come off as somebody who's learning. You say you know, but we don't know. We don't see the change that you know. Is that fair to say, DC?
I think that's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, is results matter. And when you look on the field, you know, you had a year where it was a lot of stuff going on. You say it was the talent. Then last year, we
Mm-hmm.
have stuff, and I can publicly apologize to Harry B on this one. Is that well, my prediction from last year, I would have to say is that when I look back on it, they probably had two more games in them. Definitely the Kansas State game. If he had to just basically start kneeling the ball instead of trying to get stats, you had two more
Mm-hmm.
games in there, which would have guaranteed you to be in the in the Big 12 championship. It might have gotten you into the playoffs if you had a won that. I don't think they was going to because I don't think they were going to be able to stop Scatterboo. but I still think that they had that opportunity. But now you're back to a team where this team does not look at it. This looks like, put it like this, other than a few pieces, this looks like the team that the Colorado that played before he got there.
Hold on, say that again. This is the what?
I said, other than a few pieces, because they're
Mhm.
not all that bad, they look like the Colorado team, that the Colorado program before he got there.
You talking about the 1-11 team?
No, not that one. The ones where they were sometimes they'd win 4 or 5 games, generally within that four
Oh,
or
okay, the
five
decent
window.
team, the team that was
Yeah,
kind of like on the cusp of like,
yeah,
you
right,
know,
right.
being
That one.
decent.
Yeah, not the 111. The other ones that were, yeah, I mean, they were okay. They weren't gonna beat anybody, but they were still all right.
So let's deal with Uncle Buffs. Coach Prime could have used all the timeouts and still lose. Salter isn't the guy. Did you hear his post-game interview? He blamed the bad game on being benched, but balled out last week and wasn't affected. I think there are ways to kind of understand when somebody is trying to express themselves in real time and on live TV or whatever. There's a ways to understand it and ways not to understand it. But I think you're kind of taking some of the things he said out of context. I do not believe that Salter was blaming the bad game about being benched. I think he was just expressing that he was the stuff that we said here. We said benching him was bad for his mental health as a player. We said that. And he's just confirming what we say here every single time. We say everything that's out here. Okay? We said that's not a good look for your starting QB. Why are you benching your starting QB? There is no reason. Give me one reason, Uncle Buffs, why Coach Brown benched Salter. Absolutely no reason. Was it internal reasons? It could have been internal reasons because Salter is not a natural leader. Salter is not a natural leader. He's just a dude that's playing football. That's it. He ain't trying to lead no men, which could be bad because you're supposed to be a leader of men when you are a quarterback. But he's a good quarterback, and I've said that. I said Salter is your QB number one. Keep him in the game. Build his confidence. You gave Shedeur the keys. You took it away from Shedeur. You gave it to symbolically. You gave it to Juju. You didn't give it to Salter, but you said, Salter, I want you to be my quarterback. Where to do that at? How are you not building the confidence of your QB1? You're treating him like he's some type of stepchild, but you want him to produce results. You got to be able to read each and every person. Salter's not a Shedeur, but does he have the qualities that you need to win games? If you looked at the BYU game, absolutely yes. So what's the part that you're supposed to build? DC, help me out with this as a leader of men. Help me out with this.
You got to lead that
We
guy in.
understand that every leader, every person is not the same. So we cannot expect the qualities from one person, Shedeur being a leader of men, having all that confidence. If Salter don't have that, but you see the skills in him, aren't you supposed to build the other part of him and not expect him to be a Shedeur?
But Harry, here go the thing. You can win with 20 points.
Yes.
So when you score 20 points, your Dolphins has done their job. 17, you kind of in the gray area. But when my team scores 20 points, that QB has done enough to win. The issue is your defense. That's your biggest problem. I know that we're focusing on that. And at the end of the day, this is going to be the issue you have when you do portal type team stuff. Is that you're not going to have the chemistry. Think about it. All of your starting wide receivers left. Your starting quarterback left. You're improving your line, and they all are trying to work together. Most of that, so it still takes time. And when you yank a QB, now you got an offense that's getting used to a different kind of cadence. Is getting used to, hey, let's say for that QB, let's say Staub. Let's say we don't know the work Staub is doing stuff. So like say, we can use the whole Brown stuff to go over into the college. Like how many reps do you think that these QBs are getting? So if I go where I've given Salter all these reps, and then I might have given Juju a few little reps or something, and then I've only given Staub, who's going to be more prepared, Harry? It's going to be Salter.
Mm-hmm.
but they've scored enough points to win.
Yes.
It's just the issue that they're still trying to work on timing, and your defense. Put it like this: we forget that Houston in the third quarter, I believe, had the ball for almost 13 minutes. There ain't no time for your QB to do nothing. If the team can run on you and keep you on the bench, and we saw that yesterday with BYU eventually won the time of possession game. What's your QB gonna do on the bench when another team is running the ball down your throat? No pause. I'm just saying. There's more to that. So then when you get to a point where it looks to me that when it came down to a 2-minute drill, which they were in, it looked like nobody really knew what was going on. And at the end of the day is I think Salter has this issue where he's like, I can run this ball, but I know if I run it, again, we kind of get into this stat thing. If I run it constantly, so I can make it, I'm gonna wind up put myself in a situation where I'm not going to be put in a position. I'm going to be an undrafted free agent or just a camp invite. He didn't come to Colorado just to sit there and just say, "Hey, I really wanted to play for Coach Prime." Bro is trying to go pro, and you got some competing interests going on. I know
Yeah,
it's
he's
a
not.
lot,
You talking
but
about
it's a lot
Salter
of stuff
going
going on.
pro?
Yeah,
Yeah, Salter's not a pro
I
QB.
know, bro. I know, bro. But that's what I'm saying. You
I
got a
really
lot of
wanted
good
him to
different.
be though. I really wanted Salter to be a pro QB, but he lacks the confidence as a man to be a pro QB. But there are negatives that I want to pull out from Salter, but I'm not ready for that segment yet. We're gonna get into that because
I know
each
one of
person.
yours. I know one of yours. I know it big because it's the same one with Shador that you yell at the screen when you see it. So all
Man,
QBs in the future, if you play for Colorado, do not start running back and throw the ball away, or Harry's gonna scream at you.
well, I mean, he knew that. He actually said it. So, but that's not something that I worry about when about Salter because he's not egregious with it. He's not like he's doing it on every play. So, but he understands that. But Salter does not have the keys. It's so clear that Salter does not have the keys because Prime doesn't trust Salter. Salter Salter is not in the good. Salter is not in the place, the headspace that Shador was in Prime's head. Salter is not there. You see what I'm saying? It'll be nice for Salter to get there, but I think it's a mistake that Salter came to Colorado because that's not the best place when you're trying to replace somebody's son who had high regard for their son, right? It's very hard for you to replace that in the head of the father, and the father hasn't let go of his son in his head because I want to challenge even Mr. My guy Cleveland, Jimmy Cleveland, or anyone else. Jimmy, I'll get to you in a second. I want to challenge anybody to tell me if they can articulate it. Why did the Prime bench Salter? Why? What did we not see? What did we miss as viewers and analyzers of the Colorado football team? What did we miss? Why did Prime bench Salter to begin with? What was missing that we didn't see?
Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'll just say I hope that it was, which I want to agree with it, but I hope it was more so. Hey, we need a spark. We need a spark now. I feel like this game's slipping away from us, and we need to get somebody to get us going. And that may be why he said Salter, or it may have been something that was said. I mean, I'm looking at big well, nobody knows, but looking at reasons of why you would sit somebody, let's say my time of leadership, I would sit somebody if I'm sitting there talking to them and their body language as well as their responses does not look like like for example, I say, hey, if, let's just take an example of, hey, look, when you sit back and you see that wide open space, I want you to run. And yet the QB is still looking and I'm saying, I asked him, do you know why I want you to run? And he can't tell me, I might sit him then.
So it could have been something internal that we were not
Yes.
privy to, right? So okay, so I'm willing to buy that example. But before I go too far into it, let me just handle this business real quick because my guy Jimmy Cleveland just blessed the chat and blessed the channel with a super chat. I appreciate you, Jimmy. Thank you, man, and welcome back. Bad day for excellence in Colorado and Cleveland. Flacco receivers had checked out, and Salter lacks confidence. That's one of the things that I am now levying on him. He does not have the confidence to lead men, but I still think he's a good football player. And if Prime was not the type of emotional leader that he is, then he will see that and he will actually work on the part that Salter lacks instead of using it against him. You see what I'm saying? I think that's what I'm seeing. I'm
So
seeing.
Harry,
Go ahead.
I want to say this though, but here's the thing. All right, so if I bring in a new player, Salter, right? Got there in
Mm-hmm.
January, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not there for what 4 months or whatever it is, 3 months, because I'm going through surgery and stuff like that. I don't know his work ethic.
You don't know whose work ethic.
I don't
Salter's work.
fully know what's going on with Salter. I don't know how he's managing that. I only know what people tell me. So then the minute I step on the field and start seeing some things, it may be to a point because Prime was gone for an extended amount of time, or whoever was running it, maybe they had been so task saturated that they didn't see all the things that were going on. They
But
saw them.
do you think it's really about work ethics, or do you think it's about Prime's emotions?
Well, I won't say that it's the work ethic as whether it was bad. It's just maybe a work ethic that may be different. It can still be good, but yet it's different. So, because like leadership, folks, you can't be a leader if you're absent. It don't work that way. I don't care what nobody said. Oh, he was out here. Yes, bad, horrible reason that he was out, and thank God he is healed now. But still, if you're not watching your people and understand, you're not just talking about the team, you're talking about your subordinate leaders. If you're not there walking around and constantly checking, then people have a tendency to not do all the things that need to be done to be great. They have a tendency to relax your standard and then use their standard, which may not be at your level. So that may be some stuff that went on because he was not there. He didn't get to see things. And by the time he's seeing things, we're at game 2, and he's going, "Oh man, I think I might have misjudged this dude. Let me snatch him out and throw Staub in." And then it may have been a panic leadership move, which is generally not good. But I'm just saying that may have
I
been
can
what
see.
happened too.
Okay, so I can see that, and I'll give you that, but I'm only going to give you a small percentage of that. And let me say this. Let me give you this, right? I think I think Prime is the type of guy who is, who looks for, because he's an alpha male. I think Prime looks for other alpha males. Salter is not an alpha male, but the culture that we're in, we tend to think that alpha males are the only way to go. You know what I'm saying? Alpha male is not the only way to go. Now, if you can get a leader that may be a little bit more quiet than an alpha male, then you want to invest in the things that can bring the alpha out of him. And I think Prime is the type of guy who he doesn't have enough patience, internal patience, to be able to bring out something that an alpha male, that a male leader may lack. This is what I'm processing, because his son is an alpha male, right? Or he has the kind of like leadership qualities that he sees, that he saw in himself. And he's a, he may not have, I think somebody said that Shedeur was not the type of leader, but Shedeur has confidence in himself. And for the most part, alpha males have confidence in themselves, right? But Salter has a quiet confidence. That's a different kind of male, right? That's a different kind of leadership. Something where you're going to have to work on. You're going to have to develop. If you don't know that kind of leadership, then you will not know how to develop it, because you're always looking for the barking dogs, the yelling alphas. But he's a quiet leader. He has the skill set to do it, and he can gain your trust by what he's able to do. So Prime didn't see Shedeur, and now he's looking for Shedeur. I'm talking about in the styles that he's looking for. So now he doesn't have time to develop or to even help Salter to develop. So he benched him for Ryan Staub. He didn't know, because we talked about it on the show. He didn't know that kind of leader, you can kill their fire within them. You see what I'm saying? You see how important it is that you're under somebody who understands who you are as a player. I can use Daniel Jones, right, as an example. Daniel Jones was in here in New York. The organization, the leadership did not know how to use him or how to use his, whatever his qualities are. They didn't know how to harness that to be able to win. Now he's under the right leadership and he's flourishing. You understand what I'm saying, DC?
I know what you're saying, but I mean, here's the thing: is that managers know how to manage a task. Leaders know how to put the right people in the right spots, and they know how to get the stuff out of you. And
so what are you saying? Prime is a manager, not a leader?
I'm going to say this. He had to, the only QB we know he's developed is the one that came from his loins. So you had him the entire time. When you bring people in, it's not always easy to, that it takes a special kind of leader to be able to look at folks and see what their skill sets are, or talk to see stuff in them that they don't even see and pull it out of them. Saban did that kind of stuff all the time. That's why the teams were great. Yeah, he recruited talent, but you still had to make sure people walked in that talent. I think that Prime is learning those things. I mean, because I don't care what nobody say. Just because you coached high school, that is nowhere near coaching a P4 program. Coaching a P4 program with this type of visibility is a lot more. I mean, think about it. Gundy just got fired. How many years was he great? Once you lose it, you lose it.
But I'm still indicting Prime on the fact that because he's an alpha, he's always looking for alpha leadership type.
Well, let me ask you something. Is Jalen Hurts an alpha type?
No. Jalen Hurts is not he's a quiet leader.
So can I say this? Something, he is a quiet leader, but he's alpha. I
think people mistake alpha as being the one and only leadership type that men should have, but they don't understand quiet leadership. And they often say, "Oh, you're not an alpha. If you're not an alpha, then you must be a beta male. Like you're a bad male if you're not an alpha leader." You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Alphas are always pounding their chest. Like they're always doing that weird stuff, right? But there are quiet leaders that's actually humble and they lead in a different way, but you got to be able to understand it and be able to know how to harness that. Go ahead.
Bro, I have met special forces officers. Seem real cool, mellow, personable. But these dudes, man, they wasn't no joke. You can see when they did their thing, you knew you better not mess with this dude. And I do think that's something like sometimes we assign masculinity or type A with being loud and boisterous, but like they call a lot of those special forces guys quiet professionals. Cause it's disadvantage to come in the room being all loud. And I'm sorry, but so I'm just trying to reinforce exactly what you're saying is that I think some people not realizing just somebody coming there talking stuff like I even saw the cop. You have some people, ain't nobody finna do nothing to me. You ain't finna do nothing. And then as soon as they in the back with the handcuffs crying like a baby, I want my mama. Come on, man. What you doing back there?
Let me handle some business real quick. Jimmy Cleveland, appreciate the super chat again. I think when Coach Prime benches him, it fed into his mind and that he's trying hard. He's trying hard not to make mistakes and playing timid. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes. I think we talked about that on the show. Because he doesn't have the keys. He's trying to please somebody that does not understand his leadership style. Salter is not the type of leader that Prime is used to. Prime is used to the cocky, the flamboyant, the type of leader that saying he lets his nuts hang. You know what I'm saying? Prime is used to that kind of leadership. quiet leaders don't move in that way. Like Salter is a quiet leader. It's obvious. He lacks some type of confidence. And man, I keep saying, look, man, I really wish that Salter was not at Colorado. Not necessarily because I hate Colorado or I'm trying to talk bad about Colorado. I like Salter also. And I want Salter to be under the right leadership because leadership and connection matters. Prime is not the type of leader for Salter. He's not. You need a leader who's going to cultivate you and your style of how God wired you. Salter's not wired for Prime's leadership. I hope I'm making sense to some people out here. Salter is not wired for Prime's style of leadership or even human being style. They're not wired for the same. They're not wired to be the same category. They're not. So, unfortunately, what Salter brings to the world under Prime, we're not going to be able to get it. And that hurts my soul for Salter. While I can still support Prime on a different level because of the type of leader he is, I hate him for Salter. I hope that makes sense. I know sometimes the way that it's gonna hit certain people's ears, they're not gonna understand what I'm saying. But Jimmy, yeah, I think for hopefully that answers your question. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't bench Salter. Because I don't think he did enough for you to bench him. I think you just saw a different kind of leader trying his best to impress you because he probably has a lot. He holds you into high esteem, and he was trying to impress you. And maybe he made some things wrong, but your son also made a lot of mistakes, and you never benched him. You just trust him. You just trusted him. And Salter is like that type of kid where he's trying hard to impress somebody who he can never impress. And the two leaderships should have never been together. They should have never come into the same room. And Salter is his NFL career. I can't determine that, but I think under Prime it's looking bad for him. I do wish we had Salter in Athens, man. DC, what coach do you know that would be the best coach for Salter? Salter's style of leadership or Salter's style of a man?
I think he would have done wonders at Oklahoma State. 100%. I think he probably would have been good at Auburn because Hugh Freeze is good at stuff like that. And notice I'm talking about coaches like with different type of temperaments.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have been good at certainly. I think a coach like Kiffin would have been really good for him. So those are the ones that come to mind for me.
Mm. And KMS said he should have stayed at Liberty. I don't think you stay at Liberty. I know that Ashton Jeanty was Ashton Jeanty at Liberty, not Liberty, right?
He was at Boise.
Boise. I don't think you stay at Liberty if you want to. You play for teams like Liberty, and then you go to a P4 to now because you have interest in going to the next level. But I think they made a wrong move. Don't stay at Liberty, but pick one of the schools if they were interested in you, like that DC just listed.
He could have did it because Malik Wilson that he went there and again who helped Malik Willis become a great football player. I don't think he's in the league now. Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze was great at taking QBs like that and shaping them and forming them into what they could be. I just forget the guy, but he had a guy go pro, and dude was pretty good. But you do have to go to a program. That's where it is that these kids are choosing program that might have money or may have visibility, but you have to choose the program that has. I would choose development all day long. Because if you're not developed, like right now, with the rest of the games this season, how is Salter going to improve? Brian Leftwich is there sparingly, from what I understand. So who is going to help Salter improve now? Right now, you got a situation where if they continue to do the Wildcat, which worked, but again, teams will adjust for that, then now you're standing back there with somebody else. They move. So as far as the running or managing the game, you're not always touching the ball as much. That's if they stay with the Wildcat. So how is Salter now going to develop or to improve himself to be able to get into at least, you know, I would say if he gets drafted in the 7th round, he has done phenomenal.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Prime, like KMS is saying, because Prime subbed him out and benched him for Ryan Staub, I feel like he literally daggered his NFL hopes, because Salter has good stats, right? Not every person that's in the draft had a 60 or 70% completion rate. Some have like 50 something, but he can play the game of football. Salter's a good player. I kept saying it. Why the heck are we subbing Salter? Build the kids, build his confidence. He looks up to you, so build his confidence. Don't bench him for that weird stuff you're doing. That's why I hate it so much for Salter that he's with Prime. Because Prime's leadership style, it's something you gotta like. It's an acquired taste, to say the least. So yeah, man, I wish that Salter would have chosen a different coach, because, and this is probably a message that goes out to other players that are considering Prime. Do not come to Prime if you're not the type of player that is like the type of, like, with his personality. Go to somebody that's going to take your style of personality and develop you, because Prime is not. If you let me move off of that. Jimmy, I appreciate you, Jimmy Cleveland. Yeah, you're right. If Cleveland didn't bench Flacco, okay, you're going back from. If Cleveland didn't bench Flacco for 1 touchdown and 6 interceptions in his first 4 games, then you be patient with Salter. Yeah, I think Salter is the type of guy that you got to develop, and then he becomes a great leader. I'm telling you. And somebody said earlier that Salter. Okay, now let me dig into Salter a little bit. I guess pause if you need it, but here are some of the qualities and missteps that I think could make Salter an even better quarterback. Because if you watch the game, if you saw that game, Salter was pretty accurate. He wasn't making a bunch of mistakes. You can count on, I would say, one hand. DC, tell me if you watch the game, you can count on one hand the amount of mistakes that Salter made in that game.
I agree. I don't think Salter's a bad QB at all.
Yeah. So Salter's a pretty good quarterback, and he made some pretty good decisions. And I still think he's trying to impress Prime. But here are some of the things that I saw, and I'm like, dang, Salter, you could have. These are some of the things I saw, and I would like to hear from you, DC. What some of the things you see? It could be the same things, but let me go first. Salter jogs; he does not run. Salter's scared to get hit. He's not like the type of quarterback that the BYU quarterback is, who is going to try to get the first down. Salter, if the lane is wide open, Salter will get there. If the lane is a little narrow, Salter's not going to take the chance. And then he jogs there, and he's jogging there, and then as soon as he gets a chance, he's going to slide. Salter's scared. He lacks confidence. He jogs instead of running with vigor. I'm always texting this to my guys, and I'm like, look, Salter is just not, he ain't got that killer instinct. Salter's a little soft on the edges. He ain't the type of quarterback that's gonna go out there. He ain't a Jackson Dart that's gonna go and smack somebody to get that first down. Shedeur tries to do that sometimes, even though that's not the type of player that he is. But yeah, Salter's not that at all. So he lacks confidence. He doesn't run with vigor and with force. He jogs, and I hate that. And he lacks confidence. DC, what are your thoughts on that?
Is that what you believe or what you hear?
That's what I know. That's what I'm levying on him, what I see.
I think that he's accurate with the ball. I certainly think that. I mean, you got some good points in there. I mean, I can't really argue with much of that.
So, yeah, I mean, so we get that, and then Surfer Boys 3000 says, Wisconsin is somewhere where he would thrive, right? So he has those qualities, or those negative qualities or negative things against him that I think he would be a better quarterback if he was the type of quarterback that would just see 3rd and 2, and there the quarterbacks in the league that I trust with 3 and 2s and 3 and 3s, anything under 5 yards, I can sit back and be like, we got first down. Salter is not one of those quarterbacks because he's timid also. He second guesses himself, and that has to do with the fact that he lacks confidence. So, Haynes King, or whatever his first name is, King with Georgia Tech, 3 and 2s, that's an automatic first down. I mean, that's an automatic first down because he's running. You know he's going to run it. When I see 3 and 2s and I see Salter standing there second guessing himself and the lane is wide open and you're like, look, just run forward and then you can smack I don't care how big the daggone DB is. When you're running forward and you lean your shoulder down, you can literally run over anybody that's coming into your way sometimes, or a lot of times. But he's scared. He's scared to do that. He's not that kind of quarterback. So I hate that for him, but that's part of it.
I mean, it is. And sometimes you're just at a team that's just not. I mean, you can look around the league and see people that are at teams where, let's say, for example, you had what is his name? Because he was actually projected to be one of the top QBs. He's at Miami now, but his name is escaping me. The quarterback. Why is it escaping me? But anyway, it'll come to me. Somebody will drop it in the chat. All right.
You're being real petty right now.
All right. No. I'm seriously. I'm forgetting the QB that
Miami's QB
Miami
Beck?
right now. Yeah, Miami's QB right now.
Beck?
Was that Georgia? Yeah. All right. So yeah, there we go. So Beck was projected to be a top QB. No, I'm not. He got hurt.
Okay.
And he just was never the same. So he went down, and then it was kind of like, all right, he has new life at Georgia. I mean, he left Georgia, has new life at Miami. So he was able to do some phenomenal things. And there are quarterbacks that wind up going to another school and doing well. But again, that's where you have to pick. I'm curious who is on Salter's team, because all that stuff matters. Salter has some raw skills. It's just to a point. Well, that's why I always tell young folks to say, don't try to chase money. Go where you can be developed and the money will chase you. But if you try to get it now, you generally are not going to know how to manage the whole process. You will skip some steps. And I mean, we have to accept this. I'm not dissing on Prime right now. I got my issues with some things. But if you develop what you call like a kind of like a transit team, where you got people coming in and coming out, hired mercenaries, it's going to be hard to develop chemistry, especially with young folks at that age. Like when they say you can do
how do you explain my Hoosiers? How do you explain them?
They already had they build a base. They've had a base. They're just adding on to it.
Well, how long did it take them to build that base? Because the coaches got there.
Well, think about this. We talk about
last year was his first year, right? Signetti was not with the Hoosiers. This is his second year.
a year before. I think he may have been there, but I mean, you also got to
Bro, now
consider.
they just introduced him and he was in the gym. We got footage of him in the gym and he's like,
Right. But I think
yeah.
you also got to keep in mind the staff he probably had. Coach Prime didn't really pull a whole bunch of his staff. Think about that. And it, like people forget that the coach at like when Prime came, everybody was talking about how Prime changed the game from 1-11 to 4-8, but forgot that the Northwestern coach had changed their team from 1-11 to I forget what their record was. We went to a bowl game. So that's that thing is that sometimes good coaches will come in and say, okay, instead of me trying to get a whole bunch of new people, because I got to learn these people and then I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of people who got to now learn each other. That's going to mess with team synergy. But if you have a good coach that can go in there and say, okay, I got some diamonds in the rough here, I'm going to work with that. And I'm going to build this thing up. You can sometimes get a lot out of them because a team, man, you can do a lot when you make team. Talented individuals are great, but people that work as a team, man, they can take countries. And that's why you always heard me kind of pushing back on the whole portal thing is that I think you take the portal to add different pieces. But when you're basically having a new team every year, like some people say, well, the pros do it. Keyword pros. They're professionals. You're talking about the best of the best. They already know how to do stuff. But when you're adding you're asking people that might be a year or two out of high school to come in here and be able to gel all together. It don't work that way. It just don't.
Let me answer D Square. D Square says, Harry, you have to ask why Salter is lacking confidence. It's not his talent. So, I mean, he's lacking confidence because it's the type of human being that his parents raised. You got to understand that. Like how you are raised, you come into situations the way you are raised, right? And then when you're dealing with other men and you're dealing with other people who were raised differently, how you were raised is going to show. So whatever it is you're lacking, it has to do with how you were raised. It does not make you a bad human being. It just means that you're lacking something that we can obviously see with our eyeballs. But if that doesn't make you a bad person, then that means that you need leadership that's going to, let's say, handle you the way that you are. And I'll give you an example. This is not an example, but this is like similar. Not every man can be with every woman. All right. Some men are not good for some women. I don't know if you can say there are alpha women, but there are women that will probably need an alpha male to make sure that that relationship work. But there are some women that can deal with, if not necessarily an alpha male, they can deal with a quiet leader. Because they're not looking for that man to treat her in a certain way. She's a different type of. So when you have those type of people, that's why I think fit matters so much. Fit matters. That's why you got, at the end of the day, you got certain teams or certain people going to certain teams and getting different leadership and flourishing. We didn't mind when Salter came in with his 1,200 yards or how many yards he came in with. We didn't mind, but somebody helped him to develop that. How did he get that? It didn't come from out of him not being confident or nothing like that. No, somebody knows how to take whatever he's lacking or whatever he got and work with it and make him better. But I feel like he came to Colorado and killed his NFL. The little glimmer of hope that he had to be an NFL quarterback, I feel like he just killed it with Colorado. I could be overreacting, but let me know in the chat, and DC, let me know if you think I'm overreacting. If he has any hope right now being an NFL quarterback, the fact that he's at Colorado.
Hey, at the end of the day, he just needs to go out there and play. And hey, Corlito, I wanted to say this real quick to you, brother. You say you never dated an alpha woman. There is no such thing as an alpha woman. It may be an alpha woman among women, but an alpha woman and an alpha man, nah. But anyway, I'm gonna rock on.
What did he say? What was the initial?
He was saying, I guess they were talking about something. It was like he was saying he had never dated an alpha woman. And I'm kind of sitting there saying, I mean, I've seen people think they're alpha woman, but it's like if you ain't finna squat this 400, 500 pounds, you're not alpha. You are alpha to other women. You're not alpha to me. It don't work. You're not gonna tell me what to do because of that whole thing. It is what it is. There
Uh,
has to be that element.
it's
But the
just
point,
it's just
go
women
ahead.
with strong personalities. That's pretty much what it is.
Listen, I always
They're,
said
they're
that's
not
just.
they're not alpha. They just have a strong personality.
But you know what? That whole side note, when they did that thing, is that we use that, but really for personalities traits, there really is no alpha and beta and stuff like that. There's in between. Alphas have certain what we try to label that stuff, and real quick, and I move on, is that
Mhm.
we try to label these very outwardly masculine traits and being, very masculine and that stuff as alpha, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person's an alpha. I've seen a
I
lot of folks
agree.
that talk a lot of stuff, and then when
Right.
it's time to make it happen, they'll ball up like
That-
babies.
that's what I'm saying. Like we're labeling this stuff and we're categorizing it differently. We're not alpha is not always the one that's outspoken.
Right. Because like an alpha will come up there and go, let's say Mike Tyson say, "Excuse me, I need you to get out my face, man. Get out my face." And guess what? An alpha, you don't tell me what to do. And then bap, you sitting on the floor
Right.
and then folks, yeah, he said, yeah, he wasn't finna talk to me. Somebody that's not an alpha, because I ain't gonna call him a beta, would sit back and say, okay, why am I going to engage this man at his strength? And this is not, I don't have the strength. I want to get him into my strength. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
think about it. A shark don't come on land to fight you. A shark wants you to come out to the water. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring you out into the water and I'm gonna drown you and bite you. So you have to
Right.
fight them. And that's what I'm saying is that when you see all these people out that they're really not, they're just
They're
loud and stupid.
yeah, they're just
They're just loud
outspoken
and stupid. You
and they're
see that in
pounding
New
their
York
chest.
where people are like, man, you know what I'm saying, son? I tell you what, then black. Oh, chin complete. Oh, somebody sitting there fighting you. They got their hands down around their waist, and then they got their chin tucked up. They looking up. Their chin is not tucked. It's over for you, man. Come in closer. Just
Right.
come right on in. As soon as you swing, I'll take that block in it because you can move your body where you can kind of not take the full blow. But that's the thing I'm saying is that at the end of the day, a wise person is. I've seen it. The best way to win a fight is to not fight it, unless you have no choice. But anyway, that's that whole thing of
Yeah,
alpha. We
because alphas don't go around trying to pick fights. Alphas are
no.
natural leaders and they understand the situation. They know how to evaluate situations and to make sure that they maximize that. But their leadership stands up when it's time for them to lead. They lead. But we got it backwards as a society. We got it backwards. We see people who got their shirts off, they got muscles, and they're loud, and we thinking, oh, that's an alpha male. But
Yeah.
when the
So
push
you get
comes to
into
shove, they're the one. They'll be the first ones to fold. They don't know how to lead in situation. They don't know how to lead when stuff when the crap hits the fan. They'll be the first ones to tuck back. I see that all the time in New York. Like New York dudes, they always think they're tough. I be looking at them. I'm like, yo, son, if anything happens, I know that you're gonna fold. I know you're not that about that life. Anyway,
check
go ahead.
this. Right. Why would I get into a fight with an unknown dude on the street over something that makes no sense to risk having to sit here and go to jail? And now I have to do something and prove my hardness to all the folks because prove how hard I am. Pause again. And then the next thing you know, I wind up, bad lawyer. I'm sitting in jail. And now instead of having to fight one of them,
Mm-hmm.
now I got to fight 100 of them every day to keep them up off me. Literally
Yeah,
makes zero sense whatsoever.
no
It's
sense
like, nah,
whatsoever.
dude, I'm finna just sprint. Let's do it. But back to this, I I
Mm-hmm.
I I, I think what Salter has to do, because you can still go to the NFL off a bad team. He's just
Okay.
got to come out there and just play his game. If he's getting the numbers, scoring, moving the ball, and he can do it against some pretty good defenses, he still puts himself in a chance and puts himself in a position. But I still think at this point the UFL is in his future, or Canadian.
Mm. Yo, have you heard from what's the offensive line guy that we always talk that we always joke about? Tyler Brown. What's happening with Tyler Brown?
I have no idea. You're gonna
We
have to
have
get.
not heard his name once. Is he still on the team at all?
Chat, can y'all tell me? Because I don't know. I
Hey,
mean,
anybody in the chat, can y'all tell me if Tyler Brown is still with Colorado? I know he was doing grad school, but is he still playing for Colorado? But I wanted to answer D Square. He said, Harry, the bottom line is about coaching, not his parental upbringing. Let me clear that up, because when I said his confidence, I think the confidence part he has to have, right? Good coaching is not going to make him a confident male. He looks timid. He looks like he look like one of those kids that's just talented. He's a good kid, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't the type of dude that you want to be, that you want to walk outside with. I'm not going to Brooklyn with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to Brooklyn with. I'm not walking in the dark on the tough Brooklyn street with son. Cause he ain't that dude. Like I can see it. I can see he lacks that male energy that I'm used to seeing in certain dudes. Like when he's playing football, I'm seeing that he lacks that confidence in himself to be able to take a bunch of hyena men and lead them into battle and say, I'm going to do what I need to do to get that first down. That's the type of confidence that I think that he ain't got that. You can tell like he don't even know how to talk to the dudes that are on that team. He can call the plays, but he ain't going to reprimand nobody like Shador can. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to get in his face. Like, son, what are you doing? Like, he ain't got that thing. That's why I say it's about how he grew up. But yes, there is bad coaching. Okay? You want me to put up the picture again? There's obviously bad coaching. I started with this. We can end with this too. It's obviously bad coaching because I feel like Coach Prime is not ready. Coach Prime is absolutely not ready. And now, DC, let's get into that before we can end this show on this. Colorado has a problem, and it's a coaching problem. It's a big, big problem. It's a coaching problem because Colorado. Was anybody expecting Colorado to be in this game in the fourth quarter? Tell me the truth.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either. I was pleasantly surprised to see Colorado when I finally turned the TV on. I was pleasantly surprised to see Colorado, but didn't I tell y'all that Colorado plays up and down? Let me know if y'all heard me say that. Did I not tell y'all that Colorado plays down to their talent and then they play up to their talent? That's what I meant. So when they play BYU, who we all were expecting to wipe them off the face of the planet, they were playing up to their talent. When they play Delaware or anybody else, they play right down to their talent. This is the essence of Colorado. They have no identity. They don't know who they are. You're not going to know when Colorado takes the field. You would never be able to identify which Colorado is going to show up until you see the fourth quarter ends. You'll be like, oh, okay, so that's who they were today. That's it. You don't know who they are because they don't know. Coach Prime doesn't know. Coach Prime cannot coach his way out of any tight game. He can't. I don't think he has the coaching acumen to coach his way out of tight games. And that's what makes a good coach. Or at least you know that, okay, this guy is progressing. Like I see him learning. Like he's not mad at the media every single time he has a press conference. He's not always mad at the media, but he's taking things in stride and he's progressing. And you're like, wow, my coach is becoming a great coach. I can see him, progressing and becoming a good coach. Can you say that you're seeing Coach Prime do that? Or is he always pivoting? He's always mad at somebody when they try to ask him, like, hey, what was the thought process on you taking those two timeouts? Like when we were at 2:20, and you can even hear the announcers, the game announcers, they're saying, oh, you call a timeout before the 2:20 so that the 2-minute warning is going to stop the clock, but you want to get the timeout in before the 2-minute warning. So it seems like you're preserving and you're working your timeouts as if you have more than you had. What gives? We don't know. Like, Colorado has a coaching problem. Is that going to change? And how does their season end? I said we don't have too many paths. Here it is right here. Find me a win. BYU's over now, so find me a win. Anybody, find me a win somewhere.
Find a win, yard man. And Shantae, where's the win at?
Yeah, where's the wins at? Find me a win. And because of the way that Colorado played, you have the hope that you know that that Colorado can actually be in games. That's a good thing for us as Colorado fans. That Colorado can actually compete and be in games. Okay, good. So that means that TCU is possible that we'll be in the game. Iowa State, we could be in the game. Utah, we could be in the game. But when it comes down and it boils down to the last part of it, where the players, they're not worrying about the confidence from their parents, right? When they have to now depend on coaching, managing the game, icing certain people, understanding the dynamics of the game and making sure that they're in there. Because I think when Coach Prime was asked, hey, why didn't you call the timeout? He said, what did he say, DC?
I forget what he said.
I think he said something like, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember because what the little piece of the press conference I saw, I was like, you know what, I'm going to bed because it was like, come on, dude. I mean, Prime, I get it, but I mean, they're gonna have to be to a point where, because understand, I know Prime has a love-hate with the media when he like played for the Braves and there was a guy, which name escapes me right now, which probably means I need a nap. But the thing being is that the guy used to like people used to go at Prime all the time. So I think now because he is in his seat, he'll sometime pop off. But I would say this, folks. Now, Unspoken Sports Podcast says that he sees a win in TCU, Arizona, Kansas State, and Arizona State. I'll tell you this. I think that if I were to lead, the only wins I see on this list that's possibly is West Virginia is is a higher possibility. Arizona is like a 50-50, and Kansas State is like a 60-40. The rest of them, no, I do. I mean, you got to think about it. Did y'all
Hey,
see
did
what
K-State win their game?
They did.
Oh, they won. Okay.
Yes, they won. Because here go the thing. I want y'all that are saying this, I want you to think, listen, Josh Hoover at TCU, which is the QB for TCU, is in the Heisman talk. You got to look at all the QBs you're getting ready to go up against. Several of them are good running QBs. And the games I've seen with Arizona, Fafita ain't lost nothing. I'm just telling you. So when you start looking at it, it's like Avery Johnson can just run all over you. And you know that's your weakness. That's at the end of the game.
Lord, running quarterbacks. Oh, Lord.
Utah running quarterback. Rocco Beck can run a little bit. That's Iowa State. Again, I'm just saying, folks. I mean, that's why I'm not going to say Unspoken Sports Podcast is wrong. I'm just going to say, from so far looking at the season and looking at your Achilles heel, which is QBs that can run and QBs that don't give a crap, like Sam Levitt, Arizona State. Man, I'm just saying. And then Dampier at Utah. Listen, I don't see no bowl game.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it either. Crime and Punishment said Colorado will win the rest of the games. Are you trolling? Are you trolling or are you just trying to be, are you being serious? Because I don't see Colorado winning the rest of the games. Yeah, I don't know how you. What do you know that we don't know? Shantae said, do you think this is probably a trolling thing, but we'll see. Do y'all think career football players really don't understand X's and O's? What is the seabed of this question? Like, what is the essence and what are you trying to get at with this question? I don't think knowing X's and O's has to do with coaching much. I think knowing X's and O's and knowing how to coach is two different things, because you got to put them all together. But you can know X's and O's and you don't know how to coach. Because you can't, nobody can say that Prime doesn't know X's and O's. That would be crazy, right? You
Absolutely
can't
nuts.
be, yeah, you can't be one of the best that ever done it and not know X's and O's. But do you know how to coach? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that question was a setup, because we already know Shantae's a setup queen. So you gotta be careful when she asks you a question.
You ain't lying, but just from the picture, why it look like she
um,
on one of them from Prophetess to the World programs. Look at
you don't know, she
Shantae.
does look like one of those
This Prophetess, yeah.
prophetesses that always have a word from God, and God don't talk that much. Remember
Yeah.
asking that question? I was like, what? I said, why do these prophets always hear from God, but Lord have mercy?
I can
They
hear
always
Shantae
got a
going.
word. Every day they got a new word from God. God ain't talking that much.
I
Anyways,
can hear Shantae going. The Spirit of the Lord says to you
she's a deaf announcer.
that I see Prime. I see 4 more
Bro,
wins.
what she said, Probs canceled back. Probs canceled battle really set back the team. I'm sure it impacted the recruitment.
Yes, Prophetess. Tell us something we don't know.
Does
Yeah, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. But yeah, serious though.
she needs
Serious though. You're
her
right.
head covering.
That's right. Go ahead and tell us. Go. Just all right. Let's pray in the spirit. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. Mama say, I'm not messing with y'all. But anyway,
Crime and Punishment said, Colorado lost to GT. Okay, now, okay, we're about to do this thing. Let's do it. Colorado lost to GT by 7 and BYU by 3, both undefeated ranked teams. Y'all are overreacting. I don't think we are. I don't think it's about how much you lose by. I think it's about losing. So I think that's what it is. Shantae, you're not sensitive. Stop playing. Go ahead.
yeah, Shantae is probably about as sensitive as an alligator back. But see, the thing is, turtle shell. Here's the thing. I get what you're saying, crime or punishment, and not saying overreaction. I have to disagree with that assessment. You're losing, okay? Period.
Yeah. It's
Whether you
about
lose
losing.
by
It's not
one
about how
or
you
whether
lose by
you
how much.
right or whether you lose by 80. But here's the thing that is getting you. This is, but you're looking at the score. But when you have people that you have not won the time of possession, I don't think maybe one game you generally are losing it pretty bad, and the people are running over you, and the rest of the teams have pretty good, solid running games. Think about that. BYU is tricky because BYU has a slow start. Some of these games that you played, you got to think about it. You've only had one away game. Now you're about to have a bunch of them. So you did look good last night. You were at home. I think in Utah, that game looks different. Put it like this. I'm not saying that the season can't turn around, but from what I've seen, bro, I just got to disagree. I don't see the things that you need to do to win. They're not doing all of them.
Right. And when it boils down to like the last thing that you got to do is game management, we know that Prime is not a good game manager. Somebody said that he needs to hire somebody to manage his clock, because you can't. I mean, I don't think you can say I don't remember. I think when it comes down to like, okay, we got two and a half minutes, let's say 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, and you got 2 timeouts, and they just gave you the ball back. Prime, what do you do in this scenario? Call timeout right away. They're about to give you the ball back, call timeout, ice them, do something. But you can't stand there and look like Homer Simpson, you know what I'm saying, with your eyes, receding in the back of your head, and you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do at this moment? Like, call timeout. You got 2 of them.
How do you be at this point and don't know timeouts? Come on.
Or know when to call. He knows timeouts, but he don't know when to call them.
You gotta know when to
look,
call
this is what he's thinking. This is what Prime is thinking. I promise you, this is what he's thinking. Okay, we're gonna get the ball. It's going to 2 minutes. We're gonna get the ball, and we're gonna run our plays, and then we're gonna put ourselves in a position, and we're gonna have enough time to do it in. So that means
Okay,
that
so
we're going to save our timeouts and we're going to call it. We're going to call it when we need to stop the clock so that we can either kick the ball to tie the game, or we're going to use our timeouts when we absolutely need it. But what he's not thinking is that the time is running, and he doesn't think about the fact that when you need to settle your mind, when you need to settle your team, and because their mind is in rush mode and they're going to make mistakes, he's not thinking that settling your team mentally is part of the game plan to win. Prime is not thinking about that. He's only thinking, we're going to have enough time to run our plays and then call timeout so that we can do the final play. He's not thinking about the psychological part of timeout calling. He doesn't know that.
But check this out, Harry. Generally, what happen is, have you ever seen a coach running down the field yelling timeout?
Oh
You've
my
seen
goodness.
that. Yeah,
Bruh.
or you see them standing right next to the
Joe
referee.
Gibbs, bro. I remember Joe
Exactly.
Gibbs for years. You know, he's bumping into people trying to call timeout.
I've seen Kirby Smart fly down the field. And or you'll see like a Saban, like right there. All right, after this, we're standing right next to Dan Lannon is definitely standing right next to the referee and be like, all right, after this play, call timeout. I want to call time. Once they hit the 2, I'm gonna call timeout. You generally have them right there, like generally that coach is gonna be near that ref or something to the point where you've already told that ref right here, I want to call a timeout. And that's what you do. If you see your team is a little disheveled, call timeout, and your team is kind of looking. And here go the thing: your QB has a freaking radio in the helmet.
Right.
It needs to be to a point where you can communicate that stuff. Okay,
send the call timeout.
Exactly. Or you got a hand signal where you stick it up, and that lets Pat Schumann, hey, he tired, timeout.
Right. Or we got two minutes and 20 seconds left. They got the ball at this 4th down. All right, so we're gonna call timeout. We're gonna settle our team, and let's go over the final game plan. We know we practiced it. We practiced it. We know that. So Prime is thinking, since we practiced it, they already know what to do. Let me not ice them. No, call timeout. Settle their mind. Hey, listen, guys, this is where we are. The game is on the line. Just take your time. Don't worry about it. We got this. Don't worry about it. Relax. We got this. All we got to do is run down there and do what we did in the first half. We got this. Prime is not thinking about that.
I mean, and you see some stuff like, for example, Surfer Boy will tell you that Kirby fumbled one of his timeouts, that he called it too early. He was like, when even Kirk Herbstreit was saying, why did he call that early? You were generally around, I think you might have seen the words like around 2:20 you call it, and then so they had burnt their timeouts because Bama was moving the ball, got to the 2 after that. You saw where Bama ran, got the first down, and then the dude slid down. But then you also saw with the Ole Miss and LSU game where one of that they were fussing, that one Lane Kiffin was fussing. It was like, you ran out of bounds. I need you to stay in bounds and lay down. All that stuff that they're still coaching on the field. I'm not saying. Go ahead.
Jason, what's his name? Jason, Jason, the basketball coach. Jason. Remember the basketball coach for the New York Knicks? That he was for the New York Knicks, right? I forget his name. Please forgive me. It starts with Jason. But remember, he was like, he was mouthing, "Hey, come bump me, because he was trying to get some extra time, so they could try to he had water in his hand, and he was like, "Hey, yo, bump me," and he said, "Yo," because he knew that like those little old school ways to that old school culture. Somebody asked earlier, and this Jason Kidd, thank you, Unspoken podcast. He's like those old school coaches that know those little tricks on how to buy extra time. And someone was like, Jason Kidd was like, "Hey, yo, bump me," because he know that if he gets bumped and the water spills, they got to take time to try to wipe that water up, and that's going to give him time to try to get his team, rallied up. I mean, those things, since Coach Prime never came under a coach, since he never had somebody old school to kind of come from under them and learn those little intricacies, those little things, nuances that you can use as a coach, even though he's a player, coaches they don't really tell you those things as a player, so you're just focused on trying to get to the next thing. So people who think like Shante and them, the Shantays of the world, with their prophetess looking, drip, right? They think that because you were a player, you should know all of the things that the coaches, those little secrets that the coaches use in games. You should know that because you play the game at a high level. No, you're on the field, you're thinking about your performance. You're not thinking about what the coach is thinking when he's like Jason Kidd saying, hey, yo, bump me, bump me. No, coaches learn that by coaching. Players know how to play the game, but they don't know what the coaches are thinking on how they're controlling the game and the psychological part of the game when they try to ice somebody and say, no, I'm going to call a timeout here. Those things are coaching things. They're not player things. Players don't get that. And coach never
So
coached under anybody legendary. Coach Prime never coached under any legendary coaches at this level, like like a Nick Saban or any of these coaches to say, okay, Bear Bryant, whoever, to say, oh wow. So these are some of the things that we did to win those championship games when the game was on the line, and we had to use different tricks, different techniques to try to win a game, a very close game. Coach Prime has never won a very close game. He's not. He can't coach his way out of that. And don't you think that would have helped if he had the knowledge?
yeah, because you even showed a list where a lot of coaches that came from the Saban tree, from Lanning
Mm-hmm.
to Kiffin to Sark to Kirby to just that it's just freaking crazy. And the thing is that a lot of them said they hated working for him, but they love what they learned from him because he
Mm-hmm.
demanded that they there. So here's the thing I'm gonna say. So because I want to don't want to come off as bashing Prime. I want to say here's the fix, folks. Here's the obvious thing we got to face right now. Gold jacket players do not mean gold star coaches. And somehow, some way, we've fallen in love with pipeline to the NFL. And I, my job
And we
as a
and we're
coach,
coming.
right? And we coming, yeah. And a lie don't care who tell it. But the thing we got to understand here is that your job as a college coach, as a football coach for the University of Colorado, is not to get people into the NFL. It is to win the University of Colorado football games. And if you do that, you come in here and do the things that you need to do that will prepare you for getting to the NFL. And I will help you. But my number one job is to win games, not to help you. It's not to give you the spotlight. It's to give you life lessons and on this doggone field lessons. That's what the job and all this other stuff we're trying to put on him. I think that causes there to be distraction. I think Coach Prime has to decide: do I want to be a elite coach or do I want to be a good coach? Elite coaches has to cut a lot of these things that are going on out. You got to eat, sleep, breathe football, one track mind. If you want to do
Mm-hmm.
something else and have that other stuff, go fine. But understand, while you're doing that, the other coaches are obsessing over little details that when it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to the last minute, that's what causes them to win. Because just as the little details win, the little foxes spoil the vine. That is a classic kind of thing that goes on. So here's the other thing. I think that you need to reconsider the staff that you have. And instead of going gold jackets and NFL experience, I'm of players. I want to get coaches. So I'm going to places like North Dakota State and South Dakota State. I'm going to the FCS. I'm finding the brightest and best. I'm bringing them in and I'm empowering them and saying, this is what I want to do. I want to have a absolutely high power offense. I want to have the greatest show on turf or whatever we're calling these days. On my defense, I want to have something that clogs up the middle. I want holes. I want stuff to be able to clog holes. And I'm going to my boosters because again, I talked about the coach being able to work with the boosters. I'm going in there and say, listen, the only way we're going to win the Big 12 is y'all are going to give me the skill players, but I need the money to get the trenches, and it's going to cost me. Now I might not be able to go 2 and 3 deep like a Bama or a Miami or something, but y'all at least need to give me enough to go 2 deep. That has to happen. and you have to get the coaches that already have established relationships with all of these big high schools. Yes, IMG is great, but I think you need to maybe get rid of this pipeline to NFL model, and it needs to be, we're here. I'm getting bright best. I'm getting people that can manage those intense games. I want championship winning football, even coaches, even if it's at the FCS level, and I'm bringing them to Boulder, and we're going to build this thing. That is how you win. Continue to
Hey, let
do
me
what you're
highlight.
doing. That's it.
Let me highlight something that you said. Let me highlight something that you said that needs to be highlighted more, because I think the coaches that are not worried about what they're going to be saying in the press conference because they're taking an L and they're worried, the coaches that actually are losing sleep over the little things, right? Like you said, Coach Prime needs to cut out some of the extra, things that he's doing and focus 1,000% on football. The little things, right? Shante, all that stuff you're saying, none of that stuff matters. All right. So yeah, none of that stuff matters to coaching. It doesn't matter how well you ran, because a lot of the best coaches never played the game. Some of your best coaches, they never played the game. So none of that stuff matters. We're talking about coaching. We're not talking about playing. There's a difference between when you're running, trying to catch the ball, or trying to run the ball or catch an interception, than when you are actually coaching, using the coaching profession to affect what's going on the field. There's a difference there. You have to understand it. Players are not coaches, and coaches are not players. So understand that coaching is a whole nother thing. But let me highlight what DC said. I want a coach that is stressing over the little things. As much as I hate Dan Lanning and I want him to fail, man, there's something about that guy that I'm like, Dan Lanning loses sleep and he goes over 2-minute drills in his kitchen or his basement. I feel like he puts himself like in a simulator, and he says there's 2 minutes left on the clock, or there's 59 seconds left on the clock. I got one timeout and we are down by 4 points. And I know I can't just kick a field goal. I have to score a touchdown. Me as a coach, what do? I feel like coaches that worry about those little things are the coaches that win tight games. Until Coach Prime now, until he starts to focus on those little things, and not, when you look at Coach Prime's face with 2 minutes left and he's losing, he seems like he's already at the press conference making excuses. He's already gone. He is sweating and nothing going on in his mind about football. He's just like, oh Lord, what am I about to say now? Which quote am I about to use? You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, what am I going to say? Like, he's not locked in. You can see his glaring face. You're like, he's just there. You're like, wait, what is coach thinking right now? We got 2 minutes left, bro. It's 4 points or 3 points. Bro, look, we can win this game. Just lock in and stop worrying about what's going on at the press conference right now. So until Coach Prime starts to win some of these little tight games, and look, I've seen, like what DC was saying or alluding to, I've seen coaches that with 1 minute left and they know that it's a 4-point game, I've seen them so excited, like they have not even thought about losing that game. They're like, oh, you're going to give us the ball back with 59 seconds to go? You're going to give me the ball back, and Kaden Salter is doing well? Oh, we about to beat y'all. Y'all should have never given us the ball back with time on the clock. So we don't see that with Coach Prime. And until they get that, I think Colorado is going to not do so well. And I think we're delusional if we're thinking Colorado's going to win the rest of the games. And if they do, I'm going to come right back on here and I'm going to say, well, I guess they won. I was wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I want Coach Prime to win. But I'm not seeing no progression on Coach Prime. The only thing that I see Coach Prime doing is continue to blame and shout at the media. I don't see I don't see him evolving as a coach. I just see him just making just shooting bleams and shooting shots at being mad. Like he's constantly just mad. Why are you so angry? Like, what are you angry for? The only thing I can think about is so many people being against him, and he's just so concerned about proving them wrong that he's always in a battle, in a mental battle with those people. And then he's like, he comes to the point where he's just like, oh, my haters won today. As opposed to just being locked in with Colorado football, he's worried about his haters. That's what I think.
Yeah, why would you be on a major stage talking about your program or what you're doing and give any energy to haters? Because the more you
Right.
feed the trolls, the more they're gonna come. You have to consistently put that thing right back on the team and say, why did you call timeouts? Well, the reason why I didn't call timeouts is that if you go back a couple of plays, as I was sitting there talking to Schumer up in there, I was like, hey, do we have the right personnel to do X, Y, and Z? And if we don't, let's take a look at so and so. But that didn't happen. So I got here and I was like, all right, I need to get past this point. If we can wind up seeing some movement, I was looking, if we can get 4 yards, let's say make it a third and short or whatever it is, then that's when I was going to call the timeout. Because what I was looking at, and that's sometimes you have to explain, this is what I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then when it comes to a point of, well, hey, Coach Prime, what do you think about your QB situation? Well, hey, as anyway, me, I love competition. I want to win. I want to win bad. So sometimes, I have to take that on me for using my QBs the way that I use. They all have strengths and weaknesses. And so, we're trying to figure some things out. But I tell you what, I think we've got some solutions and you can look forward to seeing some great things out of them. He hinted on that earlier this week, and then when they went to Wildcat, that was brilliant. Remember, that's one thing I was like, that was a good thing to do. That shows me there was some adjustment. But the thing is, you have to get them and constantly put them back on your team. Constantly put back, you have to put the praise on your team and the blame on you. That's what leaders do. I don't care what field you're in. If you're going out here and pointing, and here's the thing, fans, you don't ever do your coach a favor by saying, well, it's just this, or hey, y'all got to give him a break. You don't give your coach a break. That's a gold jacket, one of the greatest to ever do it. He don't deserve that. This is, no, I won't say he don't deserve a break. Let me change that. But I think it's to a point where Prime knows what excellence is and sit back and say, Prime, I know you're going through some things, but we still demand excellence. It is. Think about this. Last week, I promise you this: if Caleb DeBoer had a loss to Georgia, he was going to
Mm-hmm.
be gone. Because that's what you have to do. If you demand that excellence out of your leader, you'll get that. But if you sit back and just consistently make excuse, I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over. We've seen it with Florida. You're gonna consistently have a mediocre program.
Yeah,
Just keeping it
and
real.
I'm tired of making excuses for Prime. As much as I love Prime and as much as I support him, I think just don't, like, you seem angry. Like you just seem like you're just angry. And when the game is on the line, I feel like you're already at the press conference because you're too concerned about what people think about you. Because that's what you have built. You have built an empire off of people's thoughts about you. Because you could prove it as a player, but you can't prove it as a coach because you're using somebody else's child. You were your mama's child, but you're trying to use somebody else's child to keep your bravado, to keep that thing that you got, that fighting energy that you got, and you still think you can do that as a coach, and that's not how it works. So you're gonna have to switch that up or continue to do that, but try to find a way to get more money, get boosters to give you more money, $20 million. That's how much it costs to win a championship. You need $20 million and buy players. If you can't buy no players, then stop talking like the way you're talking and humble it. Just humble it down, all the way down. And just do exactly what DC just said. Start talking like DC's talking. But you're still in the prime the player mindset, thinking like, oh, the world loves me because I can talk my talk and I can prove it, and people will love you. But when you talk that talk and you can't prove it, they will be against you. That's when people start hating on you. And and your own supporters will start turning on you and be like, I love Prime, but man, he got to take it easy with those reporters. Why are you always mad? Like, what are you mad for?
But I'm gonna say
They're
this:
just doing their job like you're doing your job. And he's a media person. When you were in the media asking questions, imagine some coach just being belligerent. Like, oh, timeouts? What timeouts? Next question. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Go ahead, DC. Let's end. Let's end it here.
all right. I will say this though, because we talked about this last year, and we're
Mhm.
talking about it. I expected this year's schedule. Remember one time I said, "Oh, this should be better next year." It was not. This schedule right here. Oh my God. Somebody don't like y'all down in the Big 12 because you literally only have had pretty much I have to say one easy game.
What game is that?
And that was Wyoming. Delaware,
Oh, you said had. I thought you said have, right? Like
yeah,
right now
you
we still have.
had. I don't think the rest of them. I mean, I do think y'all can get West Virginia, even though they can run the ball, and I do think you could probably get Arizona, because their defense isn't the greatest. But and I'll just use this as my closing.
But
Um,
they Utah too, right?
no, Utah is pretty doggone good.
Oh, okay. And K
I'm not
State? No,
gonna.
not K State either.
That's probably gonna be my one where I'm kind of like corn flip
50-50.
on, right? Because the thing is, the game I watched were Kansas State, where you had Dylan Edwards and Avery Johnson has got wheels on him, that he can get out there on that perimeter on you and extend plays. And so that's the issue. I don't and he's accurate enough that when he has to throw, put it like this, very similar game to, but it's not as brute as the quarterback for BYU. Put it like this: if the BYU quarterback can beat you, the rest of the quarterbacks on this list, other than I think the one that West Virginia can beat you. I'm just being honest. You got to sit back and look at what you're going against. But I get that. But crime and punishment was saying there was some things you can finish in practice. Here's the thing: what I see, y'all doggone injury list is as long as a CVS receipt, and
Yeah.
you got a lot of your second string. And if you look at it, it's a lot of defensive tackles and linebackers and stuff like that on there. That's my concern for you. Is that not that you couldn't fix it? It's that you don't have people healthy. And guess what? You got beat up this game. I'm curious to see what's going on here. I think you're gonna get the next couple of games. You can win them, but get so beat up that by the time you get to Arizona and West Virginia, your depth is not there. That's my concern for you.
Yeah. So I'll start out with the final thoughts. I think Coach Prime can turn this season around and at least go win a bowl game. I mean, the whole idea of winning the Big 12 is out of the question. That's not going to happen. Not here, not never, not today, not this year. That ain't going to happen. But I think he can turn the season around and make sure that they go to a bowl game. But he's going to have to tighten up the ship. I think get somebody who can keep him, be quiet, Shante. Anyway, I think, yeah, if you want to, these are hot Cheetos, boy. Lord have mercy. Get somebody who you can talk to and say, listen, let me know when it's time to call a timeout. I don't know if you gotta just humble yourself and just be like, oh, maybe I don't know how to call timeouts, but I'm tired of these people talking about timeouts. Get somebody who can track your timeouts. Be like, Coach, we gotta call a timeout. You don't think one of those coaches, those gold jackets that are just blinding, maybe those gold jackets are too bright. They're blinding him on the sideline and he can't see the scoreboard. He can't see the time. Anyways, that's a joke. But still, yeah, get one of those gold jacket dudes to say, hey, yo, let me know when to call a timeout. And just fix that. That's an easy fix with humility.
No, man, I think
that's not an easy fix with humility. If you just humble yourself and say, okay, maybe I don't know when to call a timeout. Somebody help me. Somebody's going to step up and be like, all right, Coach, I got you, right?
Yeah, I think that's something? I think you're onto something. Matter of fact, I've just decided I'm going, even though I don't celebrate Halloween, I'm going to celebrate it this year, and I'm going to go as Coach Prime's 2 timeouts he likes to keep. That's scary.
No, he got more, bro. He got
Yep,
more
I'm
in
going
his.
this time out.
He's kept every game. I think there's every game he's kept timeout. So I think get a jacket and just write timeout all over them, and that just say Coach Prime's timeouts.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, Cornelito, I think that CU can make a bowl. I don't know if it's the Dollar Tree or the cold sore ointment bowl. I don't know, but yeah, he can win. I think he can get in there.
The Bengay bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, you go about to end the show going up there cracking up, man. I don't have anything to say other than great show. I hope they go in and have a serious week, but I think we can have fun with them names of what bowl they're gonna end up. Is the uneaten pizza crust bowl, all kind of stuff.
Or maybe we could go to the timeout bowl. That's a good one. We can definitely go make the timeouts bowl. Because we would be in good company. It'll be a lot of timeouts that we never use. They'll be right there supporting us. They'll be like, "Hey, coach, I remember you. You remember me? You left me out here. Timeouts, all timeouts left behind." Oh. Hey, y'all have a great week, man. I don't even know if I'll go live this week. I got a tough schedule, so if I go live, y'all just pull up when y'all see me pull up. That's it. I can't promise anything, but I'll come on here. We'll have some more conversations. DC, thanks for pulling up on me. I appreciate you. No Shante, the after the game crime and punishment, yard man, El Hombre Negro, Quenlito's way. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that's in the chat, yo. If I don't call your name, my man's Cleveland, who's in here blessing me with his hard-earned entrepreneurial money. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Surfer Boy 3000. Everybody that's supporting the channel, and DC for pulling up on me, man. Y'all have a great evening. Have a great week. And on purpose, like my pastor used to say, in Jesus' name and on purpose. All right, guys. All right, DC, we'll talk.
Peace.
All right, peace,
brother.
guys. Peace. Good night, guys.